Hey guys, Jim here. Welcome back once again. Today we're going to take a look at one of the knives that I make called the Hellraiser. And a lot of you guys have given me hell for not really showing a lot of my knives on my channel here. I'm really not a big fan of doing that. It still kind of feels, a little too self-serving to me. But I've gotten a lot of questions about this knife and I did want to show it, especially this one in particular, which I call the Bifrost edition. You'll see why in a few minutes. Actually, I can give you a quick little preview right now. Oh yeah, that's pretty nuts. So what we're looking at here is my Hellraiser. I've developed a recurve Tanto harpoon. The standard versions are in Nitro V and come in a variety of different maples. I do yellow curly maple, green curly maple, green maple burl, which is another beautiful choice. Done some carbon fiber and obviously some custom one-off requests as well. This one was meant to be something rather special that I will never recreate this exact one. The idea behind this was to do something as flashy in the scales as I possibly could to really set off the beautiful Nichols stainless raindrop Damascus. And every time you move the light, yeah, this stuff is absolutely crazy. The material is called laser whiskers, made by a gentleman called Workerman on Instagram. This is Chad Nichols stainless raindrop Damascus. And it just looks absolutely gorgeous. I've always loved raindrop Damascus since the very first knife I ever owned that had it on there, which was a Chris Reeves Sebenza, large Sebenza, and fell in love with it. And even though it's a very heavily patterned material, it doesn't really take away from the lines of the knife at all. You can still very easily see all the bevels and all the work that was done in it. Very, very, very impressed with this steel. I will be doing many more knives in raindrop Damascus, but again, I just won't be using the scale material again because I really wanted this one to be as special as it could be. And wow, how crazy is that? I also decided to do something a little bit different on the hardware this time around. Instead of using titanium pivots, I used stainless steel. I did a little pattern on them, then I acid etched them just to give it the feel as if they might have been Damascus, which they're obviously not. What's interesting about this scale material is the fact it's Workerman's topo material, so you have this highly topographical material. So you have these valleys that go way, way, way down. And then on top of it, he has these, I'm just going to call them rainbow sprinkles. I don't know what else to call them. Yeah, it looks like you pulled the knife directly out of a unicorn's anus. And that's fine. That's because that's the mystical look that I really wanted for this. My God, look at that. Every time you move the light around it, how spectacular is that light show? Just incredible. I'm so happy with how this knife turned out in every possible way. It was a lot of fun to make. This was actually going to be made as an auction knife. I was going to put it on my Instagram right before going off to Blade Show here. And I was convinced by a serious collector to not put it up on auction, and he went ahead and bought it. And so it is going to Australia with a number of other knives that he's commissioned from me as well. So the whole idea behind the Hellraiser was just to make something a little bit more wicked. And I'll be honest with you, a lot of what I do, a lot of how I make knives is because I'm kind of under a microscope. People want to critique things a little more heavily, maybe with me than others. So the majority of my knives I do in a high finish satin, or I'll do a hand rub satin. I actually prefer dark acid stonewash. It's better for a user. I think it looks really aggressive and cool. But it's to show that I'm able to do those finishes and grind that smoothly and evenly. It's also the reason why I have chosen to start doing sweeping plunges because, well, take a look. Most people use a very straight 90-degree plunge. I don't like how that looks, and it's much more challenging to do this. So, yeah, the Hellraiser was more of a, let's see if I can make something crazy with some really beautiful sweeping grinds to it. And let me tell you, if you've never put a new edge on a recurve, you'll never know how much fun that is. You should try it sometime. So this was more or less a challenge for me to come up with something a little bit more aggressive, a little bit more of a standard size. It is a full-size knife, about 9 inches overall with a 4-inch blade, 4.5-inch blade. There's a lot of contouring that goes into this, or I've scalloped out here and then brought those scallops down to the actual blade. A lot of contouring work all the way through it. A little bit of an aggressive cutout here. And while everything, it looks like you have sharp defined edges, that's the point. It should have what looks like sharp defined edges to go along with the geometry of the rest of the knife. If you'll notice how it bends the light, yeah, because everything is actually contoured and rounded. There is a defined edge going around the handle, but it's all rounded and very, very soft. I do this intentionally. Same thing with the spine break here. Even though this is one straight angle, or one straight and another straight, where they meet, I've softened it just a little bit, so there's no hot spot in the hands. Now for me, this fits my hand perfectly. I'm the maker. That's kind of the way it's gonna go. I've made some with thicker handles, and I'm now making a few for Blade Show with thinner handles, just so that I have some different options for different folks and different hand sizes. So I wanted to give you guys a nice close-up look, I'll go ahead and do that, of what my Hellraiser looks like. The reason for being, the way that it came out, this whole design is my way of paying homage to two friends of mine. One, Brian Ty, because if it weren't for the Brian Ty and Joel Perella design Bengal, I may not have ever gotten into custom knives. And that, as you have seen in my my video about it, was a grail knife for me. I still own it, still love it. And that was a recurve. And part of what really attracted me to that knife was the fact that it was a recurve. I thought it was so sexy. And it also pays tribute to my very good friend, Mr. Michael Ziba. Him and Jason Knight got together and made the S5. You've seen my video about the S5 flipper. And this is a very similar blade style till you get up to the tanto tip and the way that I've ground it. He grinds it differently and whatnot, but I wanted to bring this area back here to pay homage, pay homage to him and his work, and the incredible amount of support that he has given me as I've turned into a knife maker. I won't even go into all the stories, but I owe the man a hell of a lot in the ways that he's guided me and helped me through some hard times in this. And this was one of my ways of paying homage to that. So to Brian, Joel, Jason, and Mike, this was my little tribute to them. And of course with my own spin. The way that I grind it, the way that I make my handles, everything is different than what you're gonna see from any of those guys. So anyway, that's the kind of backstory behind the Hellraiser, and the reason why I called this the Bifrost edition, because this kind of looks like the Bifrost with all the colors that come out of it. Maybe a little bit more sparkly than Thor's driveway there, but that's one way of putting it, right? Thor's driveway. That's a little too much light. There we go. I really am totally in love with this material, but I wanted to make this knife special, and I will not be doing this particular look ever again. So this collector has the true one-off, one-of-a-kind that will never be replicated. I will make more in Damascus. Right now I'm going to make probably another, I have I think 15 more orders or so for Nitro V Hellraisers in various finishes. I'll probably do another 15 or 20 after that, and then I may retire it. I tend to retire things quickly. I've retired the little occipital. Maybe you guys have never seen that. Hold on. This was my very first design. This is called the occipital. You see, it's a much smaller than that. This is one of the ones going to the Blade Show. I'm bringing 2 to Blade Show. This was a lot of fun to make with the white liners and this blue and white material. Beautiful little knife, a lot of fun. The whole idea was to give a nice full-size blade in a deep concealed carry kind of knife, so it's got a very tiny handle on it, but enough there, and the way that it's contoured that you can get a nice firm hold on it. But this one's retired. I will never make any more of these. It was a lot of fun to make them, but obviously not the easiest, especially, again, going back to those sweeping plunges. So that one is done. So yeah, I tend to get bored real fast, so I retire shit. So you never know how long something's going to last. So the Hellraiser, I'm definitely going to make throughout the rest of the summer of 2018, and maybe one or two holiday ones, and then that'll probably be it for those, and I'm going to move on. Yes, to answer the question that I get every day, yes, when I return home from the Blade Show, I am working on developing my first flipper. So I will be going into folders. I may fail catastrophically, and I may continue to make fixed blades forever. Who knows? But for right now, that is the plan when I get back from Blade, to spend a month or two prototyping. I've already designed it. It's already laid out. My good friend, Mr. Todd Begg, is going to take me under his wing and teach me his way of making folders. So yeah, that means I'm going to learn how to do it the right way. So I'm going to have a lot of fun, and I'm sure a lot of frustration doing that. So if you've ever been interested in the Hellraiser at all, you can check out my website. It is SkeltonCustomKnives.com. You can go there and see all the different options. And if there's something that you really want that I don't have listed as an option, let me know. I'm a custom knife maker. I will make whatever you want. Actually, I just got an order today. Somebody said, hey, I love the knife, but I want it more carryable size. So I'm going to make his a scaled down mini version, about 2 inches smaller, and with some brand new carbon fiber material that I've never seen anywhere else in the world. So hit me up. You never know. Could be something I might be interested in trying. An idea that pops out of your head. All right, guys, that's it for me. Again, I get nervous and I don't like showing my stuff and talking about what I do, because it almost seems like I'm patting myself on the back. I'm not. I just want to make sure that I got a chance to let people see this. I am going to take it to the Blade Show next weekend. So if you want to see it live and in person, the collector that purchased it has allowed me to bring it over to Blade and let people see it up close and personal. So please stop by and see me. I'm at booth 67. That is against the back wall. When you come in the main aisle, you go to the back wall and take a right. And I'm over there by Travis Wirtz. I'm sharing a booth with Todd Begg and Jerry Mullen. And we're going to have EDCI out there, of course. We're going to have my knives, Jerry Mullen's incredible intercooled carbide rotary platen. Todd's knives are going to be out there. It's going to be a lot of fun. Please come by and say hi. I would love to meet each and every one of you. But until then, I'm out of here, and I'll catch you on the next video.